part 2 of our interview with Chairman and CEO of Amusement Park Entertainment, Jimmy Smith. Now back to our host, Kevin Kelly, on the BuzzBubble.
So let's start off with how you got into advertising.
Well, I didn't plan on it. Glad it ended up the way that it did, though. I wanted to play ball. I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to play in the NBA. Proud of it. Right on. And my parents made me have a backup plan. You know, you gotta have a backup plan in case that one doesn't work. And now it's gonna work. And they harassed me until I came up with one. And there was a television show called Bewitched, right? And then Darren Stevens, he's the ad guy. Larry Tate, yeah. And account dude. Darren was the creator. Larry was the account dude, and Darren was married to Samantha, who was a witch. And you know that whole joint, right?
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for Andorra, he would have been fine. Darren would have been fine. But anyway, he had a big house, a beautiful wife, and he didn't look like he worked that hard. That part was a lie.
Yeah, right.
But in the real world, at least.
Yeah, right.
But so I said, okay. I told him I'll do that. And but I had no idea that that's what I was going to end up doing.
High school or?
Yeah, I was like probably around 9th grade.
That's impressive. Most people don't think of advertising until much later. Right?
I was just watching TV. I need to come up with something.
That's what Darren does. How about the road to today, which is, you know, your first agency and Weiden and Chiat and here, and so what was that road like?
It was rocky in the beginning. I went to Michigan State and I was trying to get a gig, right? So there was this book called by Maxine Pietro. It was called How to Put Your Book Together and Get a Job in Advertising.
That's a good one.
And Maxine worked at Dancer Fitzgerald. And she was like, you only want to work at the big agencies. You don't even really bother with the smaller shops. You want to go big, you want to go to Olivia Mather, McCann Erickson, Gray, SSC&B, and all that kind of stuff. That's an old school one, SSC&B. Anyway, and she had in the back on, you know, everybody's address with a contact, so on and so forth. So I contacted all the big ones. Nah, couldn't get a rattlesnake to bite me. And then
you had your book and you did your thing. According to her book, right?
Yeah, according to her book. And she said she was wrong. She said, if you're a writer, don't worry about the art direction because they just want to know that you're able to write. Now she was right. That should have been the proper way to go about it if you're a writer. But that wasn't. Everybody kept saying, well, you need, you know, your visuals aren't that good, your art direction. I said, I know, dude. I'm a writer. I'm a writer. So just look at my writing. But they couldn't seem to do that. So then I went, so she had a list of the smaller ad agencies. And there was one called Chiat Day. And the guy that contacted was Lee Clow. So
you went on the smaller list?
This is back in the day. Back in the day, they hadn't blown up yet. You know, there was no TBWA Chiat Day. It was just Chiat Day and Lee Clow.
Wow.
And it was in LA, obviously. And my wife was from, it was just before my wedding, and my wife was from LA. So I said, man, I could work at that joint. And I thought it was an Asian agency because of the Chiat and the Day and the Lee and the Clow. So I thought it was an Asian joint, and I said, wow, that'd be good. I get some international experience, get to work in Asia. You know, they probably go, you know, I don't know. I didn't know what nationality it was, Japanese, Chinese, but it was all good, you know. I was down for it. And so I sent Lee my book, and finally, I called him up, and I said, so Lee, what did Mr. Clow, Mr. Clow, what did you think? And he ripped it apart, ripped it to shreds. But he was nice about it.
Yeah,
he wasn't mean about it, he was just matter of fact, and he was being honest because it was crappy. I didn't think so at the time, but you know, looking back, yeah, it was crappy. And when I hung up, I'll never forget, man, this, you know, I was telling mom and dad, this Asian dude hated my book. But you know, I want to work for him because he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. So it was different from when I sent it to other places. They would just they wouldn't tell you the truth. You weren't getting the truth. He was polite but honest, brutal, but nice about it.
Right.
And so I said,
needed.
yeah. So I said, I want to work with that joint. I want to work at the Asian joint in LA. So it wasn't for years until I saw, like, because there was no internet back then.
Right.
It wasn't like I could just pop it on Google.
About what year do you think it was?
It was like 84.
Okay.
So, and eventually I found out the 1984 joint was his. The stuff that was being done for Nike during the Olympics was Chiat Day. And then I was flipping through, it was either Communication Arts or Ad Age or something, Ad Week, something like that, and they showed this picture and I said, that's a white dude in flip-flops and t-shirts and shorts. And that was even more so, like you see me dressed up today, I got on jeans. Most of the time it's just, you know, my basketball gear. But I had to give a speech today, so I thought I'd dress up a little bit. Right. So so that was that. So my goal was to get in and work at Chiat Day. So I'm still navigating, trying to, you know, find a gig, and there was a lot of racism going through. Lee, definitely not. That was the truth. My book wasn't any good, but there were places who did like it, and I know for a fact that they liked it. There was one agency where I sent my portfolio. Right, I mailed it, and they called me after looking at it, talking about how great it was, how good it was.
Right.
Can you come in for an interview? This woman called and said, we love your book, we think it's great, we think it's awesome. We need you to come in for an interview. I said, cool, when can I come in? Can I come in like next week? She said, no. Remember what I said, the creative director's leaving town, and you need to get in front of him right away. I said, okay, well, when do you need me there? Tomorrow. And like 9 a.m. I said, well, hold on, let me check with my pop. And he was cool with it. He said, well, shoot, they got a job opening, let's go do it. So I live in Muskegon, Michigan. That's driving all the way across state to get into the Detroit area. And I get there, and you know, she's going over my book, something she had already seen because I mailed it to her, right? And she's flipping through it, and you know, you can tell when an interview is wrapping up. I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta. Okay, so when am I meeting the creative director? Oh no, I just wanted to meet you. You don't need to meet the creative director. I just wanted to meet you. And I said, well, I could have met you next week, because you said. You're on leaving time. You said he's going on vacation, so I need to meet him because there's a job opening. Oh no, there's no job opening. So that's when I figured out, this ad gig is going to be a little more difficult. She didn't know I was black. So, I mean, it's not like, you're looking at me, you're seeing the dreads and all that kind of stuff over the phone, a little different. And it wasn't like I was saying, dog, that's what's up, dope, on an interview with her.
Right,
It was all Queen's English. So anyway, so from there, finally my first gig came with Burrell Advertising, and that's an African American agency in Chicago. Alma Hawkins hooked me up, and my mentor over there is Lewis Williams, who's the head creative over there now.
Right.
So he hooked me up, and you know, I was off from there. Went to Foot Cone and Belding from there with Al Hawkins. Went to a place in Hawaii that's not worth mentioning. And my big break came with Muse Cordero Chiat. And Joe Muse over there had a sliver of Nike. Now they're just a Muse agency, but Muse is black, Cordero, Latino, and Chiat, obviously Asian. And it was a multi-billion.
Obviously, right?
Yeah,
Never obviously.
Never obviously. You know, it didn't have to be. So, but they spoke all different types of languages, like one of the first multicultural agencies in the world. And at any one time, they might be speaking 20-something different languages in that building. It was crazy. And they had a sliver of Nike, and that's what gave me my big break. And from there, I did some award-winning Nike work and was able to get into Weiden Kennedy. When I was at Burrell, I remember Tom Burrell said, because when I told him I was going to Muse, he said, Jimmy, you know, he's trying to keep me. He said, Jimmy, you aren't going to do more than 1 or 2 Nike ads a year. And I was like, that's all I need.
But it's nice.
Get the swoosh on there, we're good to go. So, but he was right. I was there 3 years and we only did 6 I remember write 6 print ads. And maybe one TV spot based off the print ad.
Then you went to Weiden and did more work on Nike while you were there?
Oh yeah, worked on other stuff, but mainly the majority of it was absolutely Nike. And whether LeBron James, we introduced him.
Wow.
Freestyle is one of the classics. I like to think I did more than one classic, but freestyle is definitely one. And that's when the basketball players were dribbling on a black sweep, and they were creating a hip hop beat with the sounds of the game. That was the first time that had been done in TV. I had done it in radio beforehand, but it's the first time it had been done in TV. And the cool part about being at Weiden is I did more than just conventional TV ads. Like, we were the first ones to win One Show Gold Interactive when I was there, me and Dr. J, John J. Then we did EA Sports, saw some of my basketball work, called. Next thing you know, I did a video game, doing video games for EA. Did a book, me and Dr. J again. That was definitely one of my mentors and my partners over there. He's a partner at the agency. And we did a book called Soul of the Game, which won all types of awards in museums and all that kind of stuff. And Billy D. Davenport is a producer over there. We did Battlegrounds, which was, what did Battlegrounds? Battlegrounds ran on MTV, and at one time, we did it with John Kamen at Radical Media, and Justin Wilkes at Radical 2. At one time, that was the highest rated show in the history of MTV2. Not that MTV2 is ABC, but still, that was pretty dope.
As I was doing my research, trying to catch up on what you're doing over here, not to jump ahead, but that's what you guys are really focused on here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's it for part 2 of our interview with Jimmy Smith. Tune in next week for part 3.
And it's still the same way, which is bizarre to me. I know I've been at, conferences, meetings about the topic, and a white cat will say, "Jimmy, I can't find any black people. I don't know where they are." And I don't know, that'd be like me saying I can't find any white people. I got my company here, Music Park Entertainment. I said, I can't find any white people, can't find any good ones, I don't understand that.
Next week on the BuzzBubble.